It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This edition of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by Beth Smith at Edward Jones and by ProMed Ambulance Services. Considered one of the pioneers in women's wrestling, Mae Young helped to increase the popularity of the sport throughout the 1940s and during World War II. Her career spanned 9 decades, longer than any wrestler in the business. Born in Sand Springs, Oklahoma, on March 12, 1923, Johnny Mae Young was, pardon the pun, the youngest of 8 children. 1 died at birth. Her mother, Lily Mae Young, was single and living during the Great Depression. Her oldest sister, Iney, was severely disabled by whooping cough at a very young age. Mae was an amateur wrestler on her high school's boys wrestling team at the age of 15. Her brothers Fred, Eugene, Lawrence, and Everett taught her to wrestle and helped her join the team. She also played softball with Tulsa's national championship team. While still in high school, Young went to a professional wrestling show and challenged then-champion Mildred Burke, who became one of her best friends and her trainer, when she visited Tulsa to wrestle Gladys Gillum. After the match, promoter Billy Wolf wanted Young to turn professional. Young later traveled to Charlotte, North Carolina, where she met and trained with the Fabulous Moolah and also made friends with Ed Strangler Lewis. There have been conflicting reports as to the year in which Young began her career. She claimed her first match was August 20th, 1939, while WWE said she, in quotes, started her professional career that year. However, Young also once said her first match was March 22nd, 1940. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, historians have been unable to find any records that she began in 1939 and that her first match was most likely in 1941. That year, Young, along with Mildred Burke, opened up Canada for female wrestling, where they worked for Stu Hart. She was wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee on December 7th, 1941, the day of the attack on Pearl Harbor. During the war, Young helped women take advantage of the fact that the men were fighting overseas by expanding their role in the sport. She fought under the nicknames The Queen and The Great Mae Young, but she used her real name for most of her matches. For part of the 50s, she worked for Mildred Burke's World Women's Wrestling Association. In 1951, she became the NWA's first Florida Women's Champion. In 1954, she and Burke were among the first female competitors to tour post-war Japan. In September 1956, she participated in the Battle Royale to determine the new NWA World Women's Champion after June Byers was stripped of the title. But the championship was won by Young's friend, the Fabulous Moolah. In 1968, she became the NWA's first United States Women's Champion. She wrestled for WWF in 2 matches in 1969 and 1972. At this point, it is unknown when Mae left the wrestling business. In the late 70s, she worked in the real estate business in San Leandro, California. In 1991, she began working as an evangelist, but later renounced this lifestyle. She came out of retirement in 1993 to wrestle again for the LPWA, where she often teamed with the Fabulous Moolah. This pairing continued when Young joined WWF in 1999, though she cameoed at WrestleMania 10 5 years earlier. In 2004, she was inducted into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum as part of their Lady Wrestler category, and in 2008, she was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Little is known about her character before WWE, but it has been widely speculated that she was the first female wrestler to use a dropkick. Among her signature finishing moves included the elbow drop and the Bronco Buster, which she used to perform the famous D-Generation X crotch chop taunt. But even in her advancing age, she could still take bumps. Her final stipulated wrestling match was in November 2010, as she had become the first person to wrestle over the age of 80. In March 2013, she made her last on-screen appearance in WWE to celebrate her 90th birthday. Less than a year later, on January 14, 2014, Mae Young passed away peacefully. In 2017, an all-female professional wrestling tournament was introduced by WWE and was named the Mae Young Classic in her honor and memory. The tournament was discontinued after 2018. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.